Welcome back. Welcome back to the live stream. We're here for a New York AM session here on December 27th. Now we're a couple days after Christmas. Yesterday was a bit slow, if I could describe it as that. So we'll see what today brings us. As far as what we're looking for, we did have a slight news event this morning. So I just want to pull that up. It's coming up in 3 minutes. At 10 o'clock, we have the Richmond Manufacturing Index, where they're forecasting a drop in 4, whatever that metric is. I'm assuming it's just some sort of confidence metric that the manufacturers are using. And so they're expecting for the manufacturers to be have a bit lower confidence than they had during the previous metric last month. So we'll see what that comes out to be. That'll be released in 2 minutes. I wanted to jump on just a couple minutes early this morning so I could do sort of the top-down analysis prior to 10 o'clock, or not eat into 10 o'clock too much. So let me get right into it. Going back to the weekly here as we look at the US dollar. We see so far this week, we've already surpassed the low of last week, pushing towards this equal lows down here at 99.581. So that would be our target. We did have a fair value gap here, a bullish one, which we seem to have pushed through already. Not sure. Well, the weekly hasn't closed yet. When I get down to the daily candle, I guess we can then check and see if the daily closed below, because that would be a good sign. Although since this is a weekly chart, we will need to wait to the end of the week and see if the weekly closes below this level, which then would negate the fair value gap that we have there. So we have our direction for dollar. We expect dollar to continue to push lower. Not sure when it's going to reach this target. It could be this week, next week, the following week. Not really sure, but we do know that we expect lower prices. And so from there, let me jump down to the daily. All right, so yesterday's candle closed up here. So this is today's candle that's been pushing hard so far. That's outside of that weekly fair value gap. So we'll just continue to monitor and make sure we're getting lower prices throughout the week. And then when we get to the end of the week, we can take a peek at that chart and see if the fair value gap is still valid. All right, if I get down to the hourly, I can really take care of some of these lines. We don't need them any longer. Okay, all right, so you can see most of the damage was done last hour. Okay, so we just crossed into 10 o'clock. So this is the opening bell damage coming from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So, all right, so this hour we may get a retracement back up into this area just to kind of close in the gap a little bit, and then further trading downwards. Let's go over to our commodities. Back into the weekly. Okay. Here we're looking at Nasdaq. Nasdaq's already taken out last week's high. That was done yesterday afternoon. We waited all day for that move to happen, and it finally came through around 2:30, 3 o'clock. But we do see that the high was taken, and we're pushing towards the all-time highs, which is around 17,700. That was put in November, December of 2021. And then we had a big drop off in January of 2022, which left a big fair value gap that we're sitting in now in the middle of, a bearish fair value gap that's causing price to move in this zone really slowly. So we have seen progress over the last 3 or 4 trading days, but it's been slow progress. Let's go back down to the daily. All right, we have a small fair value gap if we don't get a retracement deeper. There will be a fair value gap here, but as of right now, it's open still. And we've already taken out yesterday's high so far. So we see prices already moving upwards. But that makes sense since we saw during the opening bell a big crash from the dollar. So this makes complete sense. Let's go down to the hourly and see where we are. All right, we saw a big reaction from the dollar last hour. Not so much from Nasdaq. Um, yeah, I mean it was a bullish candle, but it wasn't massive, especially when you compare it to some of the other larger candles in this trend here. So we'll keep monitoring price this morning and just check to make sure it is still looking bullish as dollar looks bearish. And we'll just go back and forth just to make sure that those two are still moving in opposite directions. And mostly we want to make sure the dollar is still bearish. So then we have a better indication about what the indices are doing. Let's go over to the ES. Okay, ES taking out his weekly candle as well from last week. So we already know the weekly objective has been met. And that was again done yesterday, just like Nasdaq. We saw it take out last week's, I believe Friday or Wednesday, last Wednesday's high. Unlike Nasdaq, ES is not taking out yesterday's high yet, so we're still trading below yesterday's high. So let's be aware of that difference as we're watching price this morning. All right, so it looks like the last hour's candle was similar to Nasdaq. However, the previous set of candles were not, which is why Nasdaq has not been able to eclipse this high yet. I'm sorry, not why S&P has not eclipsed this high. So, so we'll keep waiting and seeing if the S&P wants to get up there. If it shows that it's struggling, then we'll take a peek at the others and see if potentially they're looking to show some bearish candles as well, and then maybe price will move in the other direction. But in a nutshell, that's so that's what we have as far as the indices and the dollars is concerned this morning. I'll take a quick peek at the Dow just so we can all see. Okay, so the Dow is just like the S&P. Strong candle from the opening bell, but nothing to take out yesterday's high yet. So we'll just keep paying attention to it. Let me jump over to Nasdaq and let's see where the charts are. All right, so if we just take a look at today's daily range from the midnight open, which is around this range, we saw price just pretty much range in a 20-point fashion all the way until 8 o'clock. And then we saw a small impulse for about 30 points upwards, more consolidation, which led to the opening bell Judas swing, push downwards, which where's 17,090. Okay, I believe this is the midnight open, or actually maybe that's the midnight open from yesterday. Nope, that is the new day opening gap. That's what that is, 17,090. All right, so during the opening bell, we saw it push down to the new day opening gap. As soon as price hit that level, we did see a wick below, but not a closure. Remember, this is the 1 minute candle, so this was all within 1 minute. It pushed below and recovered and closed above. And then we just saw an immediate push above this level during the opening bell. That's how we got up to this range around 17,120, where we're trading now. So, like I said, during the London session, not a lot of movement, 20 points or so back and forth. And then we saw at 8 o'clock, we saw a small impulse, more consolidation as it geared up for the 930. And now we see a retrace back to the opening values of 930. So for now, let's just continue to monitor price and look and see when it gives us our setup. Oh, good morning, Dustin, Ennis, John. Good morning, everyone. How's it going? All right, so I just took another peek. Everything looks good. Dollar still looks to be selling. The Dow is making good progress buying up. The S&P is lagging behind. So the S&P and Nasdaq seems to be, seem to be selling so far this hour. Whereas the Dow is doing the opposite. All right, back at the new day opening gap, which was the open of the opening bell at 9:30. Okay, we've lost that level now. On the 15-minute, we got a fair value gap down at 17,080. We're also approaching the midnight open at 17,082. Oh, is it 10:02? That's what I was looking for too. I was looking for a unicorn setup this morning. Ah, jeez. Get back into it. Sold off at 118. Jeez, Christ. Ah. Oh well. You live and you learn. Well, I'll catch you. I guess I'll try to catch the next one. Was it just on the 32nd? No, it was on the minute as well. Yep, that was the one I was looking for, Ennis. That's why I jumped on just a couple minutes early because I wanted to try to finish the top-down analysis before the silver bullet came into play. So this was the unicorn and silver bullet all in one. I had a feeling it was going to happen right at 10 o'clock too. But the beauty about these setups is they happen every day. So there'll be another one. Every day, every session. We just have to be patient and wait for another setup. Okay, let's see where we are now. Sweet. Good trade, Adam. Good job. All right, I drug this blue area over from the breaker block from yesterday. Anyone who was on the live stream yesterday afternoon, this this area should be very familiar to you. Let me drag over to 15 minutes. So it essentially was created around 10 o'clock, and it carried on all the way through lunch and into the afternoon. We didn't really leave this area until around 2:15, 2:15ish, and we were in this area from the morning session at 10 o'clock. So we're right back to where we were this time yesterday. But let's see if this same area, the same blue shaded area, is a place where a price wants to react from. Hey, Chris, good morning. So, and as pointed out, there was a unicorn set up right here at 10 o'clock or 10:02, like right when we got started. So it already sold off. A couple people caught that trade. I missed it, but I was hoping to catch it when I jumped on, but I didn't. Uh, but welcome to the stream. Actually, we can get rid of this. Yep. So it was the unicorn slash silver bullet. Silver bullet is between the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock hour. And so, yeah, you're right. That was a perfect silver bullet right there. At the top. I'm not saying this setting up right now isn't, but the one at 10 o'clock up here in the 17,120 range, that was a perfect one from this morning on the 32nd. Slide this over right there. Yep, so we had a fair value gap right here. Trade into the fair value gap. We had, let me stretch it out a bit. The wick came out just a little bit, but the body stayed inside the gap, and then it sold off. So the silver bullet, the silver bullet would have been the pink area, and then the unicorn would have been the blue area. Yep, there's a fair value gap created right here, 10:02 on the 32nd. Right here in this pink area. Yep. You also got one here. And again, this is on the 32nd, so it might be slightly different than what you're looking for on another chart. So let me switch over to the 1 minute. All right, see, the 1 minute didn't have this fair value gap, and the 1 minute didn't have anything up here. So if you were looking at the 1 minute, you're right. There was nothing up here to look at. And in that case, then this may end up being your silver bullet right here if price sells out. Yeah. Yeah. The only bad thing about this fair value gap for me is that my stop loss would have to be nearly 30 points from this entrance right here at 067 to this wick at 095. So in that case, I would try to split this in half and try to enter at the midpoint at 75 and here at 95. So you're still talking about a 20-point stop loss. So in that case, if I'm using a 20-point stop loss and entering at 75, I want to do a 1 to 2. So I look for a 40-point take profit. So that'd be down to 17,035. Yep. And so I'd be looking for something down in this area as a TP. Oh, okay. All right. Well, good job. Good job. Congrats on starting your ICT education. It's a long one, but a good one. Yep. 65 on a mini. Okay. In here. All right, let me bounce over and just check on the other indices for a second. All right, S&P is following suit from Nasdaq. I mean, not nearly as aggressively, but it is a sizable candle. And the Dow is still bullish, still buying. The dollar is doji. The dollar's not doing anything this hour so far, so it's pretty much sat still for 20 minutes. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Yeah, the people I sent you to yesterday, those guys, they make pretty simplified videos, uh, cutting it down to like 10, maybe 15 minutes at the most. So they're easy to follow, and so you can watch them multiple times and make sure that you understood the lesson. Yeah, when you finish with those, let me know. I'll send you a couple more recommendations. I don't want to flood you with too many right now, but when you finish with them, let me know. Yep. Give me one moment, John. Let me figure out. Try to remember who I recommended to him yesterday, and I'll repost that list of educators on YouTube. Yep. Yeah. Give me one moment, John. I'll pull them up for you. Yep. Here you go. Here you go, John. These were some of the YouTube educators that I used that took ICT's concepts and made shorter videos that are a bit easier to understand. So if you could use, so you can use those and see if that helps out a bit. Yeah, it did. You're right. It did just come off the midnight price around 17,082. So we'll see if it wants to overtake that again and then use it as support for higher prices, or if it's going to be resistance for lower prices. Yep. Good job, Chris. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep. Not even at 8:30 will probably shoot up to these 9:30 prices. Take out these highs. Yep. I want to see this high right here taken out. I say that because if I was going short out of this fair value gap, my stop loss would be right here. So I want to see that high taken out. Oh, did it? Awesome. Awesome. Great. Okay, good. Okay, so now we have the Dow. Dow just took out its high. So only the S&P has refused to take out yesterday's high so far. So we have the dollar taking out yesterday's low, and we have the Dow as well as Nasdaq taking out yesterday's high. Oh yeah, it sure is. Wow. Sweet. Okay, we're coming up on half past the hour. So let's see what the second half of 10 o'clock brings us. Looks like we're trying to break out of this fair value gap. So far, unable to do so. We still have this new day opening gap, which is extremely small. It's so small, it's almost, you can't really see it. It's only one, maybe two ticks. So I'm just going to disregard it today. It's really not large enough to play a large role. I do see the 930 bounced off of it, and that's what was sort of the launching pad for the opening bell. But outside of that, don't really see a lot of confluence from this line here. Price just kind of broken through it without using it for anything. So I'm just going to disregard it for today. It's really, really small. Let's see what we got here as far as a retracement is concerned. Yeah, you're right. They don't immediately fill just because it's 10 o'clock. You do have to wait sometimes. Okay, so no fill of the breaker here. All right. So if we push lower, Remember, what did I say I wanted from 67? Right, no, that was actually taking a trade from midpoint down to 35. I believe I said I would like as a TP if I took a short from here. Okay, we got the Dow still pushing towards its highs. Morning, Jello. How's it going? No, we're doing good. We're doing good. We had as soon as we jumped on the stream, we had a unicorn set up that some of the members in here caught. Um, but it was quite a setup to have as soon as you jump on the charts. But since then, we've just been monitoring price, um, noticing we got a little S&T going on where the Dow is buying up, but the S&P and the Nasdaq are selling for this hour, as well as the dollar. We expected the dollar to sell, but we were hoping that S&P and Nasdaq would be in bull mode, just like the Dow. But so far this hour, that's not the case. We have the Dow pulling off of those highs now, starting to retrace a little bit. Right, let me go and get a quick refill of coffee while we're waiting for something to happen. I'll leave this limit order just in case the price retraces back up there. Otherwise, if it continues to move lower, then I'll just cancel it and we'll look for something else. We took out the equal lows already. Wait a minute. Ah, you're kidding me. Oh, man. I missed it by a tick. One tick. I thought I had it set on the lower limit of right here. I guess I didn't. Oh, boy. It's all good. It's okay. All righty. All right, let's go back and take a peek at our other. The dollar. Okay, dollar still pushing lower. Still pushing. We've seen the Dow now retrace even more than before. So we're getting close to the opening value of the hour. S&P is still pushing lower. Nasdaq, we're not necessarily pushing lower, but from the start of the hour, we're pretty low on value. So, alrighty, let me go ahead and cancel this limit order here. Oh, and there it retraces. Oh, open a slot. Not sure what you mean by open a slot. Are you asking, am I in a trade? No, I haven't opened a position. I had a limit order up here and I missed it by one tick. Apparently I had 17077.75 and it came up to 17077.50. So I missed that entry by one tick. So price came up, touched the edge of this breaker, and then broke down on me. Um, so no, I didn't. So I wasn't in a trade. Nope. I did have one set up, but it didn't trigger. It was from right here. Nope. So we're looking for another setup, and when we find it, or when I find it, I'll let you know. 'A little trend line liquidity here. Let's see how this kind of unfolds here. Oh, the 15-minute CB, yeah, up at around 17,085. Yep. All right. Yeah. So, and so that's actually right here. That's at the top of this wick right here. Is essentially what created that fair value gap. Yep. So it's really mostly in between these two lines you're looking for. I think this one slides up slightly. It's about here. Yeah, I wish I had entered the trade up here. Um, I mean, with all of this back and forth movement, it'd been nice to have been in the trade and been managing it. But with the back and forth that I'm seeing, I wouldn't jump in now if it retraced back up. But I like when it retraced back up here, looking for a movement down. Okay, remember this blue area is the breaker from yesterday that we sat in for 4 or 5 hours from about 10 o'clock and excuse me until 2:30. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Yep. So now we have everything selling. Even the Dow now is showing a bearish candle for the hour. Finally, it's retraced off of those highs. So the Dow went up, made a high for today, taking out yesterday's high, and immediately started retracing. So now a lot of that momentum has been lost, but we still have the S&P that never reclaimed yesterday's high, and it's selling off pretty good now. So it's likely not to achieve that, at least not in this hour. Um, so we'll just have to keep that in mind as we look for the rest of the day. That the other two did achieve their objective and took new highs, and the S&P did not. Yeah, I'm interested to see what this candle does, just because of this trend line here and how we had it open up on the other side. Okay, I'll get rid of it. Wait 30 seconds. Hmm, 5 minute now. All right, we got 4 minutes left. I'm gonna keep it on this hourly chart until we close the hour. Just want to see where this candle closes at and whether this fair value gap is still meaningful. No, I haven't had time to look into the VWAP yet. Nope, it's still on my list of things to get done this week. All right, another 2 minutes. If we can continue with strong prices, we'll see a closure above. And then potentially we may see price react positively out of this area. But first, we need to close out this hour, close it strongly. All right, so 71 is our level. Let's just keep that in mind, 71. All right. Oh man, oh, did it come back up? Oh, it did. Hit right at 50%. Kept the candle body underneath. Okay, looks like we will get that closure above the fair value gap for the hour. All right, now let's see what we get for 11 o'clock hour. We can see from the macro, when the macro started, we swept lows and then immediately bought up back into this breaker. Now let's see what the first 10 minutes of this hour does and how we close out. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to live stream, Mr. Math. You missed a great unicorn setup right at 10 o'clock. I missed it too, but it was there. I know how you like to trade the unicorn setup. Once again, I hate taking setups that kind of stall and then come back to your origin, which is why I didn't want to take this trade, because I barely missed it here. I tried to take it here and missed it by one tick. Ideally, I would have liked the 50% level, but I didn't take it here for that reason, just because it stalled in this area and then traded right back to the origin. Yep. McNulty, right on time. I was just in the middle of explaining it. Okay, no worry, mathematical genius. But yeah, so I did like the setup, or I do like this setup. It's just when I see price not showing an urgency to go towards the target, then I get nervous that it's not going to target. And so for that reason, I didn't take the second entry as it came back up. It would have been nice to have caught it right here, traded down and got, 15 or 20 points. But it looks like that's all price was willing to give at the moment. And so I didn't jump in. I'd rather look for another setup. All right, let's get back to where we were. You just take a peek and see what the other indices are doing the start of this hour. All right, looks like we're all on the same page. Everyone's selling so far. I mean, not a huge range, but so far values are moving down, including the dollar. So we're not moving in opposite like we should. Okay, and we have all three indices in a bullish fair value gap. So I would expect some type of bullish move to come soon. Just by the way everything is looking so far, and the fact that the dollar is continuing to sell, it's already made a new low this hour, taking out last hour's low. Oh, okay. The regular trading hour gap. Okay. Well, let me now that you brought that up, McNulty, let me walk everyone through this just to make sure everyone understands what exactly that is. Okay. And you say yesterday's gap. Oh wow. Okay. All right. So for anyone who's not familiar with the RTH or the ETH, so you have regular trading hours and you have electronic trading hours. So electronic trading hours is 23 hours a day. That's trading from 6 p.m. all the way until 5 p.m. the following day. And that's what we consider electronic trading hours. Now, regular trading hours is different. Regular trading hours is essentially from the opening bell of New York until the closing bell. Um, so what we have here is, like, for instance, this first candle, and this is the hourly chart. You can see down at the bottom, down here, the time says 9:30 a.m. Tuesday, 10/26, right? And then if I go to the previous candle, it says Friday, December 22nd at 3:30. So this was the last hourly candle. And since it starts at 9:30, the hourly candles are in half-hour increments. So this would be from 3:30 until 4:30, which closes the trading day. And then the next trading day starts at 9:30, the next business day. And in this case, Christmas was on Monday. So the next business day was Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. So what happens is, you know how I always speak about a new day opening gap, which is between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock when it's closed for 1 hour. This is the difference between when it closed the previous day at 4:30 until it opened the following day at 9:30 in the morning. So all of Asia trading, all of London trading, if it's a pretty big range, then you'll see a sizable gap here, where it closed at 16,968.50, and by the time it opened on Tuesday at 9:30, it was at 17,009. So you're talking about 40, 45 points or so. And it could be different each day. Let's see if there's another one here. Okay, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but essentially that's what it is. So regular trading hour and electronic trading hour. And down here underneath, I can't see it here. Let me do something quickly. There we go. So right here at the bottom, you can toggle it, regular trading hour or electronic trading hour. And I'm always using electronic trading hour because I want to see 23 hours worth of trading. I want to see Asia. I want to see New York. But if you're disciplined enough to go back and forth, generally that area that I just showed you, that sizable gap that's created, price will trade back there. And so you can use that for target setting. Like if we get a sell off today, that could be an area that you target for price to go to and maybe take a TP there. So McNulty, thanks for bringing that up. I'm not sure how many people are aware of that, so I'm glad you brought that up. All right, let me drop back down to the lower time frame. All right, it looks like we're in the same position we were in before, so price hasn't moved anywhere. Five-minute fair value gap. Let's take a peek. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. Yes, we do. And yes, you do have a break or two. So we'll see if price wants to get up there, if it can ever break out of this zone that it's in right now. I'll leave it on the 5 minute for a few minutes and just see if that helps us see price a little differently. Oh man, I hope it's not like yesterday. That was a slow grind. I mean, it was a test of our patience, though, for sure. But not something I want to live back to back days. Yes, I use OBS. Yeah, I find it pretty easy to use actually. There's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube to get you going and to help you customize it to your liking. But yes, I use OBS. Yeah, I hear you, Anis, for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. Well, when we finish today, if things haven't worked out to your liking, then yeah, let's just give it a shot tomorrow. I know you're several time zones ahead of us, so we understand if you can't join for the PM session. Right, so far all the fireworks happened before 10:15, and now it's just sort of been lagging behind, just maybe creating liquidity, but that's about it for now. Go and check and see where we are with everything else. All right, dollar continuing to push. It's at its low for the hour. Okay, we have the Dow buying up so far this hour. S&P right around the break-even point, but slightly bullish. I would say the Dow is definitely leading, and then we have Nasdaq still bearish for the hour. Not by much, but yeah, it started right here, up in this breaker. So now we're trading below. So we're about 10 points below the open. Okay, let me move it back down to the 1 minute and see if we can see anything on that time frame that shows us whether we're buying or selling soon. We do see higher lows being achieved. We also have lower highs. The I think we're right in the middle point two of this range. Okay, slightly above. Maybe we'll see a push soon. Once we break through this blue shaded area, this breaker here, then we're in bullish territory for the hour, and we'll be right in line with the other indices, as well as we'll be in line with the dollar, moving in the opposite direction. Although none of the indices are as strong as the dollar is right now. I mean, the dollar is just pushing. Yeah, I'm gonna bring back this the 15-minute bullish fair value gap, just to show where the candle bodies are closing above the midpoint line. We have a few wicks dipping through, but all bodies are closing above. So there could be a breakthrough soon. Mhm. All right. Seems like it's still sitting in the zone. So while we wait for another 2 or 3 minutes for that to happen, I'm going to run and get my last cup of coffee. I'll be back in 1 to 2 minutes. Be right back. See, where are we at now? Oh, we're the same spot we were when I left. How surprising. Alrighty. I want to thank everyone who has liked the video so far. I really appreciate it. Liking the video helps YouTube promote the channel to other traders. So if you're in the room and this is your first go at it and you enjoying the content, even though it's a little slow, I agree. Please hit the like buttons so YouTube can promote us to other traders. And if this is your first go and you think this is something that you want to be a part of, I would appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel so you get invites to all future live streams. There's also a reminder 30 minutes before we go live, just in case you forget. And if I'm not mistaken, there may even be a reminder once we actually do go live as well. But yeah, if you're enjoying the content, consider subscribing. But definitely hit the like button so YouTube knows that we're putting on a good show here and people are enjoying it. Hey, that was a strong candle from nowhere. Let's see. All right, okay. So we had a reversal from the Dow and S&P. So now all three are slightly bearish this hour so far. And we still have the dollar as runaway bearish. Oh, wow. Almost 50 people in the live stream right now. I want to thank you everyone for being here. This is awesome. We normally have, in the 30s, upper 30s is I guess typical for the last few days. But right now, showing that 48 of you. It's amazing. And thank you to everyone who hit the like button. I appreciate it. Your support is very, very appreciated. Oh, welcome, Victor. Welcome. So, where are you chiming in from, Victor? Let us know where you're from and how long you've been trading. All right, we'll see where this candle closes. If it can close outside of the green shaded area, just like the previous 4 or 5 candles. Looks like they're all dipped inside, but managed to close above, which is what you want to see if price is going to be bullish. Essentially, what you saw was a liquidity sweep here. Price came through, took out that swing low, and now it's been buying ever since. And let's keep in mind, this is a 5-minute candle, but majority of all of this happened in the last minute. With 1 minute to go, it was down in this area. So if we go back to the 1-minute chart, you can see just a big push out of this area the last 2 minutes of that candle. It's been about as bullish as we've been in the last 30 minutes. So let's see if that momentum can continue and if we carry out of this zone or if we continue to trade in it. Oh, from Nigeria. Okay. Oh, live in the Netherlands. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in the Netherlands throughout my corporate career before trading. I worked for a company that did container shipping. So I was, and their headquarters was in The Hague. So I was going to The Hague quite a bit, 2 or 3 times a year. And so I'm very, very familiar with the Netherlands. And again, welcome to the channel, Victor. All right, One Stop Trader, welcome to the channel. Welcome. Good to have you here. Let everyone know where you're from. All right, so we got a trade up to the 50% mark, which in previous attempts, we had candle bodies stop at the 50%. We saw the wicks go above, but the candle body stop, a trade off, or really a consolidation, a liquidity sweep here, trade back up to the 50%, only the wicks this time. But let's see if price can stay in this breaker and then trade above eventually. Be brave. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. Doing good. So far, no trades today. I missed the very first one right at 10 o'clock when we got on. I attempted another one right here at around 10:40. I missed it by 1 tick and then it traded off. When it returned back up, I didn't enter at that point. So far, no trades. And you can see prices pretty much for the last hour been right here in the same zone. So it hasn't been much offerings this morning. Houston, Texas. All right. Welcome. Welcome in. Okay, so we did get a wick outside of the area. It did trade back in and close within. Let's see if the next couple candles can push out and maybe get us a trade out. I do have an area marked up above, which is very similar with a bearish fair value gap. I believe this is on the 5-minute. Bearish fair value gap with a breaker inside. So if we can move out of this area, we'll begin to focus here. But for now, we haven't, since we've been on it, I got on right at 10, just before 10 o'clock. And since 10:15, we've been sitting right here in this area. So if we can get out and close outside of it, then we'll start focusing on something else. This line I have marked up here. This is a line I'm waiting to see broken because originally this fair value gap was seen as potentially a silver bullet entry during the 10 o'clock hour for a short. And if I had shorted into this fair value gap, the stop loss would have been right here. So that's why I have it marked up as an area I want to see price trade above. So it invalidates this short setup. Oh, Mohammed from Dubai. Welcome. Welcome in. Good to have you. All right. Even more now. 53 people. Excellent. This is awesome. Okay. Right on the cuffs of breaking out. Let's see if it can do it. Remember, we want to break out and a closure above. Okay. Let's just assume it's going to close outside of. Mad is at the new day opening gap because I just said that we're not going to pay attention to that today because it's too small. Look how much I have to stretch just so we can see it. See, from 0.9000 to 0.90 and a quarter. So one tick. It's only one tick. But price stopped right there in reverse. But now it's broken through, so it's a good sign. All right, we're finally out of that area we were stuck in for some time. Was this the 5-minute or the 15? Okay, so that was the 15-minute. No, that wasn't hourly. Oh, it was an hourly. That's what that was. Okay. All right, let's take it off of the minutes, though. We'll only look at it when we're on the hourly. Yeah, there we go. Okay. About to be above the VWAP. Okay. Let's go back down to the 1. Okay, let's mark up this fair value gap and see if it holds. Okay, if you're looking for a long out of this setup, I would prefer one of these down here as opposed to the one it's currently inside of. Just because as far as the retracement is concerned, you would be below 50%, meaning you'd be in the discount pricing, which is where you want to search for longs. Now, there are times where price will take this and springboard out and start buying, but that's just a setup that you'll end up missing, and you won't catch every setup. So that's just the way trading is. But you do want to increase your odds and probabilities, and so trading from a discount position, going for longs is preferred. Aiming for the 830 price, 830. Possibly 17,102. It's only another 10 points away. Yeah, absolutely possible. And in fact, that's where this fair value gap starts. So that would be a ideal turnaround point, or at least a spot for price to pause and maybe retrace a bit. Okay, 1140. Let's see the last 20 minutes. See if we get something that we like heading into the lunch hour. Where are we at on the dollar? Okay, still looking bearish. Oh, good rebound for the Dow. Dow is pushing. S&P is pushing. All right, so now everything's in sync. We have all three indices pushing higher at around the same rate, and we have the dollar pushing lower at around the same rate. And this is what we want to see from price action, and that gives you more confidence if you're looking for a setup now. Okay, new highs for the hour. And what's that, Chris? You said 17,102. Yeah, you're around 10 points away, about 8 points away now. Let's see if we can push through this level that I wanted to see push through. If we're gonna look for bullish prices. All right, that's good enough for me. It's enough to stop out of a trade if that was your stop loss. All righty. So now, Chris, I think you are definitely in play up here at 17,102, which you say is the 830 open. $17,102.25. We mark that level up so we all know where it is. Okay. Great trade for me today. Yeah. Where'd you enter in from, Chris? Where'd you start? 65. Okay. Alrighty. Oh man, swing trading. That's okay. I've never tried that before, but yeah, let me know how it goes. Enter twice at 65. Okay. All right. Well, the key is to continue learning. We're heading into a new year. So if you can just keep continue back testing and learning for the rest of the week, you'll be in a much stronger position as we head into the new year next week. But I would definitely recommend trading less. That's one of the things that I'm also trying to do, and hopefully setting a good example for you all. That not every setup is a good setup, and not every good setup is a great setup. And so for that reason, when things don't fit my parameters exactly, then I won't take a trade. And I know that's disappointing to some on the channel because they want to see me trade several times an hour and potentially have an opportunity to uh, learn themselves by watching me trade. But I hope you're also learning by listening to me speak about why I'm not trading, because those are lessons as well. 65. All right, yeah, Chris, just hang in there. Just stay the course. Continue learning. Just don't give up. If you don't give up, then you always succeed. It looks like we're getting back down to the previous fair value gap. Let's see if we can get a bounce out of that area. Let's remove this one. Oh, wow. Okay, so we had this candle here start out at this new day opening gap. It opened right on top of it. And that's when we had the highest value put in. Now we're back down to that level where we close right at that same spot. Let's see now what type of reaction we get. Okay, yeah, awesome, Dustin. That's a excellent point and an excellent way to gradually get into things is by using one micro account. It's worth $2 a point. So if you have a 5-point stop loss or a 10-point stop loss, you're only risking $10, $20 per trade. But it gives you an opportunity to, like you say, build your confidence, win a few trades, actually hang in there without moving your stop loss so that you can win more trades. And then ultimately you're just a better trader because of it. Um, Trading is a long game. I know a lot of people like to discover it, and then within 3 or 4 months they want to be rich. But it's a little longer than that. Actually, considerably longer than that. But those who stick with it, majority of the traders you find that are really successful, whenever I hear their story, they always talk about a 3 to 4 year journey. And while they may have been profitable before the full 4 years, they really didn't feel comfortable in you know, a really solid trader until into their 4th year. So it takes some time. And usually it's finding the right mentor, finding the right strategy. It's making mistakes that you no longer want to make anymore, those kind of things. And then conquering your psychology. Psychology is so big in trading. The emotions that because we all have a different attachment to money. And the less you have, generally, the more attachment you have to it, which drives your emotions as you're trading. So that's also a challenge once you learn the technicals. Can you advertise here? Sure. Sure. Yeah, no problem, Chris. Right now we're still really small. So I don't mind if we become a large channel with a bunch of people. It might be frowned upon to be advertising here, but if someone's looking for a virtual assistant, sure, they can reach out to you, no problem. Okay, we've had two candles dip into the fair value gap, with one reaching all the way down to the 50% level, both rejecting off. Now let's see what this third candle does, whether it's going to penetrate as well. Right now it's gone just to the upper edge. Okay, now it's inside. Okay, where the candle body closes is what we're looking for. And then we want to see if we find strong prices moving upwards out of this area. Okay, actually, since we got a new high, I need to adjust the Fibonacci. So this is a 30% retracement, and 50%, anything below 50 is in discount. So these two would actually be ideal for longs if price wanted to trade down. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, just hang in there, Victor. Don't worry. You'll continue to get better. Hopefully, not only will your technicals improve, but you'll also improve your trading psychology, which is an equally important piece to trading. So, yeah, just hang in there. Continue to join the channel and join the live streams, and learn from the other members. Learn from me, and then if there's anything you have to share, throw that in as well. But yeah, we're going to be a community of traders here, all different styles. And yeah, I hope that we all become funded traders. We all become full-time traders and lead the lives that we want to lead when we have more control over our time. It's okay, gentlemen. Don't worry about no profits. We're gonna hopefully change that in 2024. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll grow gradually. It seems like we're getting about an extra 10 people in the room per week. So now, like today, we've been sustaining in the upper 40s, right around 50. Well, we're at 50 now, at least for the last, I would say, 45 minutes or so. Before that, we were, hovering in the 35 to 40 range. So I'm happy with the size of the room. I do want it to continue to grow. But yeah, we don't need to explode like tomorrow. A gradual growth would be good. And I think it'll filter itself out. We'll end up with a room full of like-minded traders, and the people who don't really fit that mold, we'll find another room to join. Rise and grind. There you go, Hugo. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what we're all going to do. We're all going to crush it in 2024. And this week is just proof. Most people are taking this week off and we're still here. Okay, we got about 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left. We'll see what price brings us before the lunchtime macro hits. If it doesn't deliver what we're looking for, remember 1 o'clock. We'll be back in 1 hour for the afternoon session. For anyone who's available and wants to join, make sure you do. Check the invitation. Like the video on your way out. Make sure you also subscribe to the channel so you can get the future invites. But it looks like price is going to just kind of slow grind into the lunch hour. But that's fine. That's fine. At least we broke out of the consolidation we had between 10 and 11:30, and so it's good that we got out of that. And hopefully lunchtime will probably race to the top and take out some liquidity. But maybe this afternoon we can see higher prices. We're not going to predict that. We'll see what price gives us. We'll just that's what it is. We just take what the market gives us and we react to it. But it is good to see it out of the consolidation that it was in earlier. We also see it delivering higher prices right now. Okay, we got equal highs right here at 092. Chris, I think your 8:30 open will probably be hit during lunch, unless it catches it in the next couple minutes. Oh, okay, Dustin. Yeah, well, you're primed for a good year next year. If you've been back testing and learning for the last 6 months, yeah, now it's time to put that to use. All right, John. I'm glad that my calmness helps. I'm just being me. So if that's what people are connecting to, then that's great. That's great. I'll keep that up. I'll keep that in mind since I know that it's benefiting some of you. Try not to get too excited, even though that's going to be quite a task for me. I'm usually even keel, but I'll make sure that I maintain that. I've noticed the morning session seemed to have more people joining because I was debating on whether the morning session was better or whether the afternoon session was better. But I've noticed definitely we're getting more people joining between 10 and 12 o'clock than we are in the afternoon. Yes, I know it's not easy. I've been working on that for the last year and a half, just really trying to control my emotion. Um, yeah, let me recommend. Oops. Yes, Victor. Check out Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Look it up on YouTube. There's an audio book, so you don't have to read it. You can just listen to someone read it to you. It talks a lot about accepting the risk and understanding probabilities, which is what trading is. Once you get your model down and you've back tested enough to where you understand it's 60% or it's 70% win rate or whatever the percentage is, um, trading the zone really forces you to accept that as what it is, as opposed to the 30% losers that even the best setup is going to generate. You accept those 30% losses because that's just the way the model works. That's the way trading is. Um, and so you don't get overly emotional over a loss. You don't get overly emotional over a win. Yeah, I hear you. It's okay. Well, hopefully hanging out in the room with us will allow you to not get so distracted. But I hear what you're saying. It's not easy. Yep. And with that, we have now crossed over. It's now the lunch hour. So I'm going to take a break for an hour, and not sure if you guys should do the same. And anyone who's looking to trade this afternoon, I'll be back at 1 o'clock. Please join the live sessions. If not, I will catch you again on a morning session tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So thank you everyone for joining today. Thank everyone for liking the video and for subscribing to the channel. I'm looking forward to having a larger community as we continue to build this. And yeah, you guys have been great. See everyone this afternoon at 1. And if not, I'll see you tomorrow at 10. Thank you very much.